You don't want to see that ankle.
Oh, Lee, this late in the game, you do not want to see.
Caitlin Clark is injured again, and this time, fans aren't just concerned, they're angry. This isn't just a minor bump or bruise, it's her second injury of the season. Depending on how serious it is, it could keep her off the court for a while. But what's really frustrating fans is the fact that this entire situation could have easily been avoided.
Stephanie White has now got questions to answer.
Because this isn't about just one play, it's the result of everything that's been building all season. From the referees to opposing players to the Fever's own choices, Caitlin Clark hasn't been given the protection she deserves. Not physically, not strategically, and certainly not by the people who should understand exactly how important she is to the game. Now, the concern goes beyond her health, it's about her future, and with it, the future of the WNBA itself. We've already seen the impact when she's not on the court, ratings drop, ticket sales fall, and the buzz disappears. After her last absence, the league got a wake-up call, and now, it's staring down an even harsher reality. So let's break down what really happened, why fans are furious with Stephanie White, and how a series of bad decisions may lead to one of the biggest missed opportunities in sports history. But first, hit that like button and drop a heart in the comments to wish Caitlin a speedy recovery.
Boston hands it off as Clark's back in. She goes down.
Oh.
And midcourt and flexing that ankle.
Oh, Lee, this late in the game, you do not want to see.
This was the play against the Storm where Caitlin Clark seemed to aggravate her groin injury, and now, she's officially sidelined for an undetermined amount of time. Head coach Stephanie White has labeled her status as day-to-day.
With Caitlin, when did you guys find out about this groin injury, and how much of an absence do you expect from her beyond today?
Yeah, late last night. I think it's very much a day-to-day thing, how she responds to treatment.
But Fever fans have heard that before, and they're not exactly reassured by it.
Yeah, she's doing well. She's doing well. Again, no timeline. I think it's day-to-day, and for us to just make sure that we're continuing to be supportive of DB.
Now that it's clear Dana wasn't truly day-to-day, she had actually requested to sit out while the team quietly explored trade options, fans are no longer buying Stephanie White's press conference statements. At this point, it feels like things could go one of two ways.
Like, it's one of two things. It's either it's groin tightness and she'll be back for the Commissioner's Cup game. She's probably going to miss these next two games. Or it's a groin strain and she's out for the All-Star game. Like, it's one of those two, and there's no in-between.
And there's reason to believe that even if this is just a minor injury, Caitlin should take an extended break, not because fans are asking for it, but because the pattern is becoming impossible to ignore. There's a clear connection between these recurring injuries, and nothing seems to be getting fully addressed or healed.
But I think we're getting into territory now where it is not, I don't think it's a good idea to just chance it. I don't think it's a good idea to put pressure on yourself to perform when obviously these are all left leg. These are all in the same leg area. So there's definitely something going on around there.
And beyond all that, many believe this isn't just about Caitlin getting hurt on one random play. The growing theory is that she's been playing through an injury for days, maybe even weeks, and only worsened it against the Storm. Honestly, fans have some solid reasons to believe it. First, the numbers. Ever since that rough game against Connecticut where she took a beating, Caitlin hasn't looked right. Not just off, completely off, especially from beyond the arc. She's gone 1-for-23 from 3 in her last few games. For a player known for pulling up from the logo, that's not just a cold streak, that's a red flag. But it doesn't stop there.
In this game right here, against the New York Liberty, she's doesn't have anything strapped up. And people are saying her quad was strapped up against Connecticut Sun. That is a very high strapping up for a quad.
And this is where fans are really losing patience with the Fever, and especially with Stephanie White. Because if Caitlin truly has been playing hurt this whole time, it points to one undeniable conclusion: she was rushed back too soon.
You guys rushed her back. And within rushing her back, she re-injured that same quad. And then you rushed her back again. And then within rushing her back, she was forced to put pressure and put stress on different areas surrounding that quad. That leads us to our most recent groin injury.
When one part of your body isn't at 100%, you naturally start compensating, putting extra pressure on other muscles and joints, and that's exactly how more injuries happen. So when fans saw Caitlin wearing that heavy wrap around her leg after returning, one question stood out: should she have even come back that early? And speaking of that, let's rewind to the Storm game, because there's a moment there that has fans absolutely furious with Stephanie White.
This one's on the coach. This one seems to be on the coach.
Caitlin was put back into the game with just seconds left on the clock, and the Fever already up by 8. For what? Maybe Caitlin wanted to get back in, maybe she was hoping to break out of her slump, but with only 16 seconds remaining and the win secured, it's the coach's responsibility to protect her player, especially a player like Caitlin. This one's on the coach. And when you add the fact that she's clearly been playing through pain, with her leg taped up game after game, it raises serious questions about Stephanie White's judgment. At some point, it's no longer about being tough, it's about managing risk. And right now, a lot of fans believe the Fever and their coach completely failed that test.
Caitlin Clark clearly not looking like herself. The Indiana Fever has the game put away, yet we still put her back in the game at 45 seconds left. Caitlin Clark dealing with an injury, not looking like herself. The game is already out of hand, yet we still put her back in with 45 seconds left. How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear? Because I am getting very frustrated with what I am seeing.
And this is where the real concern sets in for fans, because it's becoming more obvious that Caitlin Clark isn't being managed the way she should be. She's fiercely competitive, she wants to play, she wants to lift her team, and she understands that all eyes, not just from Indiana, but from the entire WNBA, are on her. She's carrying the weight of it all, even if she never says it out loud. And that's exactly the problem. When you have a player who pushes through pain, who refuses to sit, who feels responsible for both a team and a league, you need a system that protects her from herself. Because if she keeps going like this, if she keeps playing hurt, it won't just cost her a game or two. It could cost everything.
Through a little more pain than she should. I mean, look what happened to Tyrese Halliburton in the NBA Finals game when he tore his Achilles heel. He had also mentioned having some pain there, and this was like the pinnacle of his career, so he attempted to play through that, and at the very end, he went down.
And that's what makes all of this even more alarming, because just a year ago, the thought of Caitlin Clark missing significant time felt impossible. At Iowa, she never sat out. She pushed through everything, and that toughness became part of her legend. But now, she's already missed nearly half the season, all seemingly tied to the same lingering issue with her leg, an issue that's clearly impacting her performance. And if it's not handled the right way, it's the kind of injury that could linger all season, or even longer.
There's something going on. Is it the nagging quad injury? But it's something to do with the lower half of her body. It is a groin injury. Now we've got an idea of why she's struggling from long range, where it requires, some real push on three-point shots, especially the kind that she takes. And there's nothing worse than a groin injury. It will nag the shit out of you. Trust me, I've had several.
And here's what's especially concerning. This isn't just about a single injury. It's about compensation. When you play through pain, your body adjusts, you start favoring one leg, altering your mechanics, and that's a dangerous game. It becomes even riskier for women athletes, who are already more susceptible to knee injuries due to anatomical differences.
And with women as well, we are more prone to knee injuries even than the men because of the angle that our hips go to our knees. So the last thing you want is her compensating or her groin not firing properly, and she goes to cut to the side and then all of a sudden something blows in her knee. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it. She has such a long...
We've seen this story play out far too often. Stars like Courtney Vandersloot, Juju Watkins, Cameron Brink, all sidelined by serious knee injuries. And in women's basketball, an ACL tear isn't just a bump in the road, it's a season-ending, career-altering blow that can derail everything. Now imagine the nightmare scenario. Caitlin Clark tears her ACL in garbage time during that Storm game, while already playing on a compromised leg. That wouldn't just be a personal tragedy, it would go down as the biggest tactical failure in WNBA history. Full stop. We're talking about a moment that could have set the league back a decade. All the momentum, the new fans, the record-breaking ratings, gone in an instant. And that's not an exaggeration. Because here's the hard truth, no player has ever carried more weight for the future of this league than Caitlin Clark does right now. And if you think that sounds dramatic, just wait, in a few minutes, we'll break down how devastating this could be for other players too. But to be clear, this isn't just on the Fever. Fans and analysts are now holding the league itself accountable for letting it get this bad, because the officiating has been atrocious, and it's played a massive role in this entire mess.
Keep calling. They can't just keep calling fouls. I'm like, they're literally just running around hacking her. The referees have made it like a point that this is how you beat the Fever. You hack them. You don't even, it's not being physical. You just hack them. Because the referees are going to allow them to be hacked.
It's no secret that the Fever have consistently been on the wrong side of the whistle this season, and nowhere is that more obvious than with Caitlin Clark. Game after game, opposing players are taking free shots at her, bumps, grabs, body checks, all with zero consequences. And while fans have been sounding the alarm for weeks, the game against the Sun was when everything finally boiled over. It wasn't just the now infamous eye poke or the blatant body check that sparked outrage, it was the build-up, the accumulation of unchecked physicality that led to that moment.
This is wild. Here's the zoomed out look, the snapshot. I mean, this league does not have control of its players.
But this level of physicality seems to be woven into the very fabric of the WNBA, because while it's easy to point to missed calls against Caitlin Clark and the Fever, this isn't just an Indiana problem. It's a league-wide issue that's been festering for years.
Be for 40 minutes because we know for 38 of them they're pretty much going to get away with it. So I think everybody would like to see a tighter whistle and a little bit more freedom of movement.
Yeah.
That's not just a coaching tactic, it's a clear admission that the referees aren't doing their job. When coaches build game plans around excessive physicality because they know the league won't enforce its own rules, that's when players get hurt. And it's not just Caitlin. While I was writing this script, Jade Melbourne of the Mystics literally had a tooth knocked out from an unnecessary elbow, no exaggeration. Just another reminder that when the league prioritizes let them play over actual player safety, the consequences are real. This has been happening for years, it's nothing new. But now, it's threatening the one player who is arguably holding the entire league together. And if you really want to get forensic about it, here's something fans have been connecting the dots on. Caitlin Clark added a significant amount of muscle this offseason. Everyone noticed, the flexing on the sidelines, the extra bulk, it was a major talking point heading into the year. But the reason she had to bulk up? Because she was already taking a beating last season. The message was loud and clear, if you want to survive in this league, you better build some armor. But here's the twist, when you rapidly add muscle, especially in your core and legs, it can throw off your mechanics. Your stride changes.
But it does make me wonder if a player like SGA can get all these fouls called, maybe the refs should call them similarly for Caitlin. Because if the players defending Clark know that they're going to get a whistle every time they hand check her or cover her physically, they will probably do it a lot less. And I get it, you're trying to neutralize this player, but you know, we've entered the realm of player safety here, and Caitlin Clark, who has now gone out for a third time, so I think that this needs to be reassessed.
And just to be clear, no one is saying Caitlin Clark should be immune to contact. Physicality is part of the game. That's basketball. That's sports. But there's a huge difference between tough, clean defense and blatantly ignoring obvious fouls or allowing dirty plays to slide. What fans are asking for isn't special treatment, it's the basic enforcement of the rules. And that starts with the referees. Call the fouls, stop swallowing the whistle just because it's Caitlin Clark. Then it's on the league to back that up, find the players who cross the line, suspend the repeat offenders, and set a clear standard. But it also starts with something even more fundamental, respect. Respect from other players. Respect for the star who's not just helping grow the game but helping keep it alive, putting food on the table for everyone, whether they want to admit it or not. Caitlin Clark is the rising tide lifting all boats. Look around, In other leagues like the NBA or NHL, stars are protected. That's the norm. So the fact that none of this has been addressed in the WNBA? It's mind-boggling. Because if it continues like this, what comes next is going to be ugly, again.
And it's also a huge blow to the WNBA. Whether some fans like it or not, it was proven the last time that she was out with injury that the WNBA does better when she is on the court. The WNBA ratings across the league dropped by over 50% when Caitlin Clark was out with injury, and this is obviously such a crucial time and a crucial year for the league because they go into CBA negotiations at the end of the year.
It's gotten to the point where this isn't even a debate anymore, it's a measurable pattern. When Caitlin Clark is out, ratings plummet, viewership stalls, social engagement flatlines, and suddenly, the WNBA feels quiet. But the moment she returns, boom, everything surges again. And it's because of moments like this.
The nerve, the second-year players clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on.
Caitlin's return against the Liberty wasn't just a feel-good moment, it was a ratings earthquake. That game averaged 2.2 million viewers and peaked at 2.8 million, making it one of the highest-rated games in WNBA history. Because when Caitlin's on the floor, people show up, in arenas and on screens. But now, with her sidelined again, we're about to see those numbers crash. And it gets worse. There's a real chance Caitlin could miss the Commissioner's Cup Final, a marquee event designed to drive excitement and revenue for the league. Even worse, she might miss the All-Star Game, which would be a full-on ratings disaster. For the players, the stakes go beyond exposure, it's about real money. Even if Caitlin misses just one of those events, the ripple effect could mean millions lost in ad revenue, bonuses, merchandise sales, and overall momentum. This isn't just about the Fever. It's not even just about Caitlin anymore. The entire league is gambling with its biggest draw, and fans know it.
I need to get in the field. You need to come to the meetings. I gotta get in the meetings because I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us. If y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sitting out.
That's a possibility for real.
Yeah.
If WNBA players think they still have any leverage after a second Caitlin Clark hiatus, they're kidding themselves. Owners aren't going to bend to demands when it's crystal clear that Caitlin Clark is driving everything: the ratings, the merchandise sales, the media attention. And when she's not on the court, the numbers don't just dip, they collapse. Everyone sees it now. Her first injury closed the coffin on player leverage. This one? It nails it shut. It's over. And the craziest part? The league and many of the players still don't seem to realize it. But Caitlin's fans, they absolutely do.
To treatment, I stay in my lane and let our.
Who gives a shit how she responds to treatment? Keep her out for a week. Keep her out for a week or two. Let's make sure she's healthy. 110%, 150%.
Right now, the trust is gone. Fans have seen enough. A league that allows its biggest star to be punished on the court, and a team that won't protect her, even when she's clearly in pain, isn't just failing Caitlin Clark, it's putting the entire future of women's basketball at risk. It might sound soft to call out the refs, to ask for fewer cheap shots, or to say Caitlin deserves some protection. But even her critics need to ask themselves, do you really want a league without her? If you're still here, drop a basketball in the comments to let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.